Ah yes, shiny Pokemon. One of, if not the most, hype thing a Pokemon player can encounter in their playthrough, and can just get reactions like, "Oh, oh, 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 it's shiny! It's shiny!" For those of you who don't know, a shiny Pokemon is a rare coloration of the original color of the Pokemon. And what makes these so unique is that it's a 1 in 8,196 chance to even find one of these. Although in the newer games it's been updated to 1 in 4,096, but that's still very rare. However, in the new Pokemon games, Pokemon Legends Arceus, they came out with a new method of shiny hunting that just completely turns this whole system on its head. And when combining all of these factors together, it led to this.
Guys, there's no way. There's no freaking way. I just found a shiny alpha freaking skunk tank. There's no way. I was walking to a distortion rift, and I just heard this sound. I was like, ah! It's not gonna happen. It's not happening. Run your freaking hands. Come on, don't do this to me, game. Don't do this to me, man. He's asleep. I'm using a wing ball because wing balls look cool. Stay in the ball. Let's freaking go, guys. We caught a shiny alpha freaking skunk tank.
And as you can see in this clip, I get a shiny alpha skunk tank. Now, it's more rare because it's an alpha, but it's not the point I'm trying to make. The point is that I caught it, but for the first time I was actually a little disappointed with the shiny. And I just felt like there could have been more done to actually make this shiny pretty cool and possibly faithful to a real life animal. Which brings me to the main point of the video, where I try to improve on these original shiny designs. Now, before I start this segment, I do want to say that everything here I'm saying is completely subjective. This is just how I personally would want Skuntank to look. But before starting a character redesign, we need to understand why certain color palettes work in the first place and why they're used. When looking at Pokemon designed by the Pokemon team, we can see that the color palettes used often complement either their typings or their looks. When making a new shiny color, I feel like it should generally follow these same rules. And even these Pokemon I selected follow those same rules even in their shinies. Now that we have the guidelines on roughly how you should make a new color palette, we're going to be finding inspiration as to how we should be redesigning our Skuntank. And before we start, every good redesign needs some good inspiration because the best designs come from quality ideas. When taking a look at Skuntank's base design, his most defining attributes are his sly look and his purple coloration. The design and color palette is great because it shows that he's a sly yet poisonous type of Pokemon, which makes sense because he's a poison dark type. Well, we could make his patterning yellow, or make his body green to show he's poisonous. No, scratch the yellow. I like the idea of green, but how about we just use the base body of a skunk? I mean that's what he's based off of, it's in his name, right? Or let's base him off radioactivity. Yes, because one, it's still green, so it shows that he's poisonous, and it's black to keep his sly look. Okay, I feel like we have our idea. Now that whole process seemed pretty short, but just to let you guys know that was the shorter version of that. It'd take me a good bit to come up with the whole radioactive idea because I wanted to do something that was kind of far-fetched but still made sense. But alas, we can finally start. When drawing my version of Skuntank, I decided to use a softer coloring approach in terms of how I actually colored it in, because you can see in Ken Sugimori's official artwork, he tended to use watercolors in his earlier work, and when he switched to digital media, he kept his same kind of approach in terms of coloring with his usage of line art. And at this point, it's actually iconic as to how he shades and colors his Pokemon. After bouncing back and forth between which colors I would use, I decided on these 5 colors. Skuntank surprisingly uses 6 colors in his color palette, mainly being shades of his actual body color. For his main body color, instead of opting to use a just completely jet black or just a dark gray, which is typical colors of a skunk, I actually decided to give him a bit of a green hue to him, just because I wanted to reflect that kind of radioactive vibe, if that makes any sense. I did want to include some green in his body, just so that it wasn't completely black and it still had some of that green to show he's a Pokemon you probably shouldn't be interacting with. And I finally decided to incorporate the green on his ears, nose, and eyes, so that it can still show that type of green poisonous vibe, and his body will kind of reflect that same type of energy. Wrapping up here in our drawing, I decided to just put the shading where Skuntank has it in the screenshot that I took, because I'll also be drawing the background as well. But for the most part, we're pretty much done with our Pokemon recolor. And I just showed you guys the steps that I took so that you guys watching could gain somewhat of an understanding of what goes on in the art world in terms of designing new concepts. Because I really like playing Pokemon, and I decided to incorporate my drawing into it because I want to develop my art skills. So I decided to use it as a way to see if I can make a new design or new color palette from scratch. And I feel like it turned out pretty well for my first time. Drawing and YouTube video editing is 2 things that I never thought I'd be doing together at the same time. I like to do the both of them, but I always saw them as separate, and it was only up until recently that I saw and realized that I could actually do the both of these at the same time. And I'm saying this to say that what we experience in life happens for a reason. For one way or another, it was meant to happen so it could show us a lesson or help us realize and gain a new understanding, because that's what life's about. Try new things and experiment. You're never too young or too old to start to try, because that doesn't even mean anything. We're all here experiencing life at the same time. There's never an expiration date on learning. This has been Wisdom, and I thank you guys so much for watching this far if you have. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Love and light.